getting it out of the way
Nice.
before the cruise. Yeah.
There you go. Hello and welcome to Padres Talking Padres, and we had a big comeback win today.
Did we?
I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I was getting kind of pissy. I like not Mike Waldron. I like Waldron, but he's just not the guy. I give him credit for. I think he went 5 innings, right? He did.
Yeah,
He did.
he ate up a lot of pitches. I mean,
Yeah.
that's unfortunately Colorado pitchers through the years have had to suffer through that because you can't just pull guys in the second and third inning because you'll go through your
Especially
own
after we had
pitching
a
staff.
short outing the day
Yeah.
before.
Even knowing that, excuse me, even though you got a day off tomorrow. I apologize to everybody in advance. I've been fighting a cold, a little bit of flu, whatever. So
We
my
don't get to
voice,
carry an extra pitcher like the Dodgers do.
yeah,
So,
it's time for that rule to go away. That's for sure.
well, I had a simple fix. Every team can add one more pitcher if they want to.
Yeah.
If they choose not to do it, that's their choice. But if you
Yeah.
want to put another pitcher in there, and that makes it fair. Anyway, moving back to my Padres. Yeah, the offense. I mean, this is Padres offense, and it's a guy messing a pitch, he's swinging through it, and I did that when it was 8-4 because I forgot to post the show. I forgot all about it. I said, oh wait, I haven't posted the show. I said, what am I going to talk about? Oh, the offense. God, it's just brutal. It's hit or miss, and boom, there they go. So I was thinking, okay, I maybe it's time to move on from Cronenworth. He had a good game today.
Yeah.
I
I think you've hit what every Padre fan is going through right now, Jack. It's the slightly inconsistent, but it's been talked about a lot. They're still winning. I mean, and it really, really, when baseball gets down to its core, are you winning? We can sit here and predict the future all we want because I'll put even the reverse out there. If your team's hitting 300 as a team, what are your expectations? Oh, that'll go on forever. I mean, this is that. Look at this lineup. Who's going to, and that's just not being realistic. I think there's certain valid points out of that, but to sit there and kind of cast this whole cover of the whole team about, oh, well, this offense is just not doing what it's, oh, of course it's not. But the bottom line is they're still allowing a lot fewer runs than most teams. They're playing, for the most part, playing really great defense. And they're getting clutch hitting. And as my wife has pointed out, from the seventh inning on, they're money. They're one of the best teams. Them and Atlanta and the Dodgers are the three best teams from the seventh inning on as far as run differential and what they're doing with it. So, it's not going to make me feel any more comfortable with the way we're really not slugging. We've got a few guys that are having some slow starts, Manny and Fernando and Jackson. And in fact, it's been pointed out the core four, Bogarts is doing his job. Manny's walking a lot, so his on base is really quite good. In fact, I was looking at it, his on base is 327. He's right up, he's not up there where he needs to be, but he's not that far off from, some of the better guys on it. But then that doesn't allow room for guys like, Ramon Laureano and Luis Campusano and Miguel Andujar, who's, to me, making a statement that says
he's pushed
he needs to play more.
Castellano to the bench.
Yeah, he needs to play more. I mean, the guy swinging the hot shillelagh, as Mark Grant would say. I'm a big believer in streaks, and if that means somebody has to sit a little bit more for a little bit of time, then so be it. And winning's winning, and it's frustrating to watch the lineup we had that we talked about at the beginning of the season not really fully hitting all the cylinders yet. And it's going to be fun though. It will get there.
Oh yeah, Tatis will hit, Manny will hit. Cronenworth usually starts out quick and then fades towards the end of the year. I'm a little worried about that, but he had 2 hits today. Yeah. I think Manny had 2 hits today. Merrill had a really important walk in the ninth because I was someone on Twitter. I've actually been saying since his rookie season he needs to get a better grasp of the strike zone. he swings at too many pitches outside the strike zone. I think that's how that's how they're pitching him. They're not giving him, and when they finally throw it over the plate, he's not ready for it.
Well,
But
he's a first pitch hitter. He's been that for a while. And like you said,
I mean,
baseball's a game of adjustments for
Yeah.
batters, pitchers. You know, they're with the analytics that you have today. Nobody has any secrets anymore. You know, it used to be kind of word of mouth. You know, pitchers knew hitters, and they would talk to
Yeah.
other pitchers about those hitters, and hitters would talk about pitchers. Now it's all analytics. I mean, they've got at what average time does he brush his teeth in the morning? I mean, it's just it's ridiculous, the refinement that that they have now. And so it's hard to hide from those kind of things, and that's why it's a wonderful game, because it is a game of adjustments.
But obviously Merrill, we know he's going to come around. We know he's going to get it. But that was a big walk. I mean, that was like if he strikes out, now you're already down. I mean, they had hit. Then they just, of course, boom, 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 and then boom, Gavin Sheets. I love how the crowd was yelling "Holy Sheets" in Colorado.
If you saw the telecast, I'm sure you did, but there was a couple that was sitting behind third base, and the husband had "Holy" on his Padre jersey, and the wife had "Sheets" on her jersey.
Oh, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that.
So they sit next to each other. They just got to make sure they get it right. They got to always sit the right way.
But they got to know how to spell.
Yeah, Sheets Holy. Yeah,
Sheets Holy. But obviously, it was it was just like what Grant said. Bud said it was just a matter of it staying fair. It was always a home run distance.
Not by much either.
Yeah, but it was skied up there. But it wasn't fair by much. But it was a fun win. Come from behind. You got Miller in there. People were complaining the other day when Maury Hone came in and it wasn't Miller. I said, well, if Maury Hone is on, he's money. And like
luxury.
He made a bad pitch today, but he was awesome when he came in for that save.
Well, it's a luxury the Padres have, and Craig Stammen's on the local radio show here once a week, and he had even said it's like it was already predetermined they were not going to use Miller that day. He had pitched 4 out of the last 6 games, and even though he had not pitched the day before, they
it's a long season.
He says it's we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So they asked him, it's like, well, what's the temptation? He goes, oh, heck yeah. Like, yeah, of course, you go 1-0 game. Of course I want to bring him in, but you know what? I trust the other guys down there, and Warhone's one of them, and you got Jason Adam. I mean, in my mind, legitimately, I think we have 3 closers. That's just my personal opinion. I think there's a couple of guys that you could use and set up roles and stuff like that.
Badgley could be the guy too down the road. I mean,
well, I'm just saying though, from the prospect, if they went to another team, I think 3 of them would be closers: Jason Adam, Morhone, and Miller, of course.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love Rodriguez, I love David Morgan, and I love Estrada. But as far as people viewing them as saved guys, those would be the guys. And we're very lucky, but lucky is because AJ Preller values the bullpen. And
it's again, I've always said this: a small market team should always put their money in there. I mean, they really did put their money into it, but you should build a strong bullpen, because you don't have the luxury of having 6, 7 number 1 starters. You don't have the money for that, so you have to go in other avenues. And again, I mean, look at the Dodgers. They lost Diaz, but they still have.
Tanner Scott got the save today, so yeah.
So they still have. I mean, I was like, Padre fans, oh, that's a big. I go,
That's a big loss. It's not a place where they have. I mean, nobody has the depth the Padres have. That's national media talking. That's just not me. That's national media saying it's the best entire bullpen in the Major League Baseball. But you lose anybody. I mean, we've been without Estrada, and it still hurts, and he's one of 7. But
he's putting on some weight.
Yeah. It always goes back to why you were talking about the kind of the way that Preller has liked to put together his team, and the bullpen has always been strong. It's always been that way. I have to say, but it's also always been pretty cheap too. Like that. That's a good way, to your point. Small market team, large market team, whatever is, don't spend a ton on your bullpen, but go out and find the arms and and in Padres' case, let Niebla do his magic and everything. But that's why it surprised me a couple of years ago when he signed Matsui and Peralta to those
Yeah.
bigger contracts. In fact, I don't have it in front of me, but I think they're two of the bigger contracts of the arms in the bullpen. And I'm like,
I know Wandy is like 4.5, 5 million a year or something like that.
I think it's even more than that.
Matsui's it's an escalating I think his is like 6 or 7 this year or something. It's almost over, I think, right? We only got about another year with these guys. Like Wandy Peralta we all bag on him, but he's actually pretty productive.
He's had a pretty good year. He had, he kind of had the one
he started out bad.
The problem, look, I've said this before. The biggest thing with Peralta to me is there, and I don't have the facts on this, so I probably should, get facts before I start talking about it. But to me, the big difference with him is if you bring him in to start an inning, he seems to be fine. You bring him in the middle of inning with first and second or something like that, and that's when he seems to falter.
You're probably right on that. He seems more stressed. He has that worried look on his face. He doesn't have a really good poker face.
Yeah.
Let's say that. He looks like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I can't give up a hit.
Let's see. So I'm looking up the contracts here. So Matsui from 2024 to 28 is 5 years, 28 million. So he's making 5.75 this year. I'm trying to find.
When he comes back, who goes down?
Peralta. This is his last year. He's making 8 point. Oh no, that's not it. Well, that's weird.
I thought
showing him as a free agent, but I know, and for whatever reason, this site Baseball Reference is not showing his contract.
Well, he always has an opt out, but he doesn't opt out.
No, but it's not even showing him as being paid, which I know that's not true.
I know he's not working for free.
No,
he's no Ohtani.
No, but so you go to the other guys though. That's what gets me is like you got Miller at 4, you got Morhone at 3.9. Griffin Canning, who's a starter, 1 million. Sears is 2.75. Jason Adam is actually up there. He's 6.67.
And this is his last year under contract too, right? Adam.
Yeah. Which that is the worrisome part. When you talk about the bullpen, and of course we do this every year. Morahone and Adam are both going to be free agents after this year. So yeah,
and Morahone is going to probably make bank.
They both will.
Yeah.
They both will.
I don't think we'll have either one of them back.
Unless you're Giolito, your salary usually goes up.
I thought that was some people are complaining about the signing. I'm like, what are we complaining about?
Oh my gosh, that's a ridiculously cheap contract.
Yeah,
I've made the joke. Now he's going to be on our team. But I made the joke that he signed the $3 million contract with elevators up to $8 million. And immediately looked at his agent and said, "You're fired."
Yeah,
because we
talked about last week.
His agent was telling him, you can do better than 19 million. I'm almost dead certain of that. And for him to get 3 million with $8 million escalators, it's like wow.
You got to wonder what I don't know what he was making last season.
19.
I thought it was an option this year to get. Oh, that's
no. He turned down a player option for $19 million.
No, I know that, but what was he making in 2025?
I believe it was the same amount because he was on a big contract.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. It's like I can't turn down $19 million. I can't. And to turn around to turn around and make, again, we're talking about monopoly money. He's going to make $8 million. He'll probably get all his in
2023 he made 10.4. In 2024 he made 18 million. In 2025 he made 19 million. He had so he had a $14 million team option, which becomes 19 million mutual option with a 1.5 buyout in 25. So he had at least 14 million. So the team option says that they could, I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure it all out, but the bottom line is He's making a lot less than 14 million or 19 million. So
and hopefully he's hungry and comes and solidifies the starting staff. Now, I don't know who's going to be, because Bueller. Okay, I was watching the game last night, and he wasn't great, Bueller, but he had a lot of bad. I mean, there was a lot of balls just getting through the infield out of place. I mean, Bogarts made a great play, stopping the ball but couldn't get the out. I mean, it was a lot of, balls. The problem with Bueller, and I think Mark Grant was talking about too, is what's his out pitch? He seems to get two strikes on people, then starts to. I mean, he's reinventing himself. Because remember, he was called Bulldog for a reason. He had a very powerful, hard fastball.
Yeah, 98 mile an hour, he would blow people by.
And now he doesn't have that, so he has to figure out what his out pitch, whatever it wasn't working last night, and they were getting a piece of it. And it was just like, oh my God, the ball would roll this way or it would just be just fair down the line. It was just like going, all right, sometimes luck is just not on your side. Sometimes it just, it's just like, I still like Bueller. I still think he's a solid pitcher, maybe fourth or fifth, fifth guy. But when Canning and what's his name? We were just talking about him.
Griffin Canning
and
Giolito
come back. Who's sitting?
Well, I mean, that's a point of everybody's discussion, and the same thing goes for the bullpen, which you haven't touched on. But I'll give you to me the flyover of Bueller compared to Marquez. Let's just compare the two of them. Short time frame, they both pitched about 20 innings. The difference to me is Bueller, his whip is 1.62. Marquez is 1.39. Neither one of those is very good. But obviously that tells a lot, because to me, when you're giving up a hit and a half or a batter and a half every inning, it's going to be pretty messy.
Right.
And for all the reasons you said too, Jack, it doesn't seem to have an out pitch. The problem I have though with Marquez, even though it seems like the Padres as a whole, from what the insiders are hearing, is Marquez is somebody that Niebla feels like he's getting there. Problem with Marquez is he's given up 5 home runs in 18 innings, and Bueller's only given up 1. So,
and Marquez is pitching down in Mexico this week.
Slow death, sudden death, whichever way to go. I don't think either one is a preferred, kind of thing. And I think that's the reason that Preller went out and got Giolito, because he's probably looking at it as the present. Right now, I got King and Vasquez as the 2 guys that I can depend on right now. I'm hoping Pivetta comes back, but for now, if I can get Giolito and I get Canning, now I really only need one of the Marquez and Bueller thing. The difficulty is neither one of those guys is going to go down. And if you keep a 6th starter, you're already going to have trouble with keeping, who you're going to sit down in the bullpen. A lot of these guys are out of options, right? I think the only 3 that have, or the only ones have options, is Miller, which you're not going to do that, obviously.
No, that would be that'd be a mistake.
Well, and Broderick Rodriguez, who is pitching phenomenally well, right? So you're not going to send him down. But guys like Waldron and Estrada and all these other guys, they don't have any options.
Well, Waldron, I have no problem sending.
Yeah, I think David Morgan's got one, but the problem is you still have like 5 pitchers that need to squeeze into 2 spots.
Right.
And that's the problem with Bueller and Marquez, because number one, they're not going to go down. Number 2, if you put them out on the waiver wire, they'll get picked up in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you kind of have to look at what you need now versus what you need in the future. Now, it was mentioned today on the roundtable at the local radio station today, you could do, and they called it the Dodger way. And I hate it. I don't like it when people say that the Dodgers do everything. Everybody does it. You get the guy with the calf strain and say, oh, he's got to go on the IL for, 10 days. Everybody does it.
Everybody. It's been going on for
it's common. It's a common practice.
Since
it's a way you can
baseball
hold
has been
on to a
around.
decision. Yeah, it's a way you can hold on to a decision for 10 days and figure it out later. And that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if you one of them even you just say, hey, yeah. you want to stay with us, then we're gonna, you look like you got a sore arm right now, so we're gonna put you on the DL. But it's a good problem to have, Jack. Man, it's a good problem to have. I mean, if you're worried about letting somebody go or sending somebody down, I mean, that's a good thing. So, you know, um, I don't think they're going to go to a 6 team or 6 starter rotation. Most of your regulars don't like it. The Michael Kings of the world and Randy Vasquez and Nick Vivetta if he's healthy. But obviously, that's what Stamen gets picked, paid the big bucks because they'll figure it out. And like I said, it's a good problem to have. And I think Bradley Rodriguez, even though he's pitching phenomenal, will be somebody that goes down only because of the numbers game. And look, I'm sure it'll be disappointing news to him, but you can sell that one a lot easier by saying, hey, look, look around you. Like, we need to send somebody down because we're not going to jettison somebody that doesn't have any options left.
Right.
So it wouldn't be surprising to me if David Morgan went down. I think he's got one more send down, and I think Bradley Rodriguez has got 2 left.
Yeah.
No
chance we could trade Matsui, I don't think.
I doubt it. And you know what? You don't want to jettison somebody that's done very well. I mean, again, Matsui and Peralta have always been looked at in the same view kind of thing. The reality is their stats tell a different story than maybe what a Padre fan, sees. I always say that's like, it's like me, comparing me to Tom Selleck. It's like, okay, you got this really, really good looking guy. And yeah, you know what? You're all right looking, but come on, that's Tom Selleck.
I would have gone more with Carrot Top. I would have gone more with Carrot Top.
Well, I'm just saying though that when you've got all these guys in the bullpen that are awesome, if you're not Mason Miller, if you don't have a 1.0 ERA, everybody, oh, that's kind of the guy that's killing us. Really? Like,
yeah.
You look at their stats and you go, really? Is that really
even,
a problem?
Even Hart has put in some, he's been great, I thought, so far this year.
Yeah, and again, you can't look at stuff like ERA this early. I'm a big whip guy. I mean, because to me that tells you how many guys you're letting on, how many guys. To me, it's more indicative of what you are.
Well, plus ERA for a reliever, you have one bad game early. It takes you all season to get that damn ERA down.
And looking at all these relievers, and most of them got anywhere from somewhere between 7 and 14 innings for the most part. So to your point, if you give up 3 runs in one game, you're going to
without getting an out.
Yeah, you're gonna be sloughing. Now, having said that, our team ERA is way down there. It's 3.43. Doing darn good. So pitching right now is carrying us. I think I told you the other day is the one thing about the Padres right now is they're one of the lowest as far as giving up runs, and that's all you can ask for is if you got a differential, then that's a good thing. If you have a positive differential, that's a good thing. So, right now they're tied for first place for crying out loud, and they're a plus 15, which puts them. I mean, right now the Dodgers and the Braves are just blowing people away. The Braves are unbelievable right now. Not only have they allowed less runs than the Padres, they've scored 40 more than the Padres.
Well, they lost their reliever, but Suarez stepped up, and Suarez is their new closer.
But they're playing unbelievable baseball. The fact of the matter is, though, they're 18-8. We're 17-8. So does it really matter? Going back to the how it looks thing. If you're winning games, you're winning games. And again, I'm just gonna use the crutch that says we're gonna get better. Our offense is gonna get better. Now, having said that, our pitching's gonna have some struggles every once in a while too. We've been pretty fortunate up to this point. We haven't had a whole lot of runs scored on us, and we've only had a couple of games, the last 2 included, of course, being in Colorado, where we've actually given up a lot of runs. I mean, it's been pretty good. Like I just look at I still look at the what is it? Last 14 out of 17 we've won. I mean, come on, like what more could we ask for?
I don't have the stat in front of me because it's happened the last two games, but I swear the Padres are number one in allowing runs with 2 outs. I could, because yesterday Bueller, 2 outs, boom, 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 and Waldron today he got the first 2 outs and then gave up 4 runs or whatever it was. I'm just like going, I get frustrated when we get 2 outs and then we get it's one of my pet peeves, but that's okay. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's just a derivative of watching the last 2 games, Jack, because I haven't really noticed that. And again,
well, last season it was a thing because I would go up 2 outs. Here we go. We gave up 3 runs. Again, I don't know where to check the stat. I'm sure it's all teams have the same problem, but I get irritated when there's 2 outs. Boom, 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 boom. But it is what it is. But no, I don't want to complain because we're, like you said, what are we, 18-8? You said
18-8.
18-8. I mean, 10 games over 500 with a team. When you have Tatis doesn't have a homer, Manny only has 2 homers, right?
In the month of April, we have not lost 2 games in a row.
That's pretty impressive.
It's the 23rd of April. Yeah, I got no complaints. I was a little, and maybe it's just me. I usually don't look at I know Jay likes to talk about how they look and their energy and all that kind of stuff. I will say today, in the first 5 innings, they look lackluster.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a frustration because, Fernando just didn't look like Fernando today. And again, it's 162 games. It's going to happen, man. You can't always be excited to play the game and everything. And part of it maybe is his frustration of the plate. But Jackson Merrill looked like, he's got the head down. And I even texted you and say, maybe it's time to give him a day off. And I meant that in the right way. Like, let him get his head straight because he's an energy guy. And just seeing him literally walking away after he swings and misses, he looks back at the glove and then his head's down and he's walking back to the dugout. And that's not Jackson Merrill.
He's people forget he just turned 23. I thought he just turned 23.
Yeah.
So he's a great player. I mean, defensive. I mean, you look at Fernando and Merrill defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, those are 2 platinum glove players playing next to each other. I mean, some of the plays they make are just ridiculous.
But I think that was what led me to believe there was a little lackluster because, Fernando made a very simple error, and then I can't recall who it was, but somebody hit one on the line and you could see from the get-go, he was not running full bore. He was just kind of running, but you could tell he was not running.
Waldron gave it up.
And it's just stuff like that. And again, it's a long season and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure Stamen will, look at the same thing, and he might know the reason for it. Maybe, but I just think both of those guys seem like they need another day off. Like, they got tomorrow off, but I know he probably won't do it because I
wouldn't do it this weekend because they're playing in Mexico. And if they're playing at the same, I don't know if they're playing at the same ballpark they played a couple of years ago, but that ball just flies out of there.
Oh yeah,
it's the same one. And I'm like,
where they played the Giants and the final score was 16-11. There were 8 home runs.
Yeah, I'm playing these guys and hoping they make contact and the ball goes over the fence. And I don't care where you're playing at. You hit a home run.
You hit a home run.
That's a good feeling, and it gets you pumped up. So I wouldn't sit them this weekend. But maybe
they probably won't.
If they struggle there, then maybe it's time to sit them down for a couple days and give them a break because they got to figure out what to do with Castellanos. I think he's the guy that needs to play every day, and he's just not producing right now. So you can't have you're going to sit Andahar down? No. You're going to sit Sheets down? No.
Yeah, I think Stamen answered the question. They asked him, talked about Nicky C, and. They even read into it a little bit because Stamen was kind of like, well, yeah, he's okay. Everything, he's just adjusting to his new role. And just the way he said it is like, yeah, he's probably not a happy camper right now.
No.
And it's hard. I mean, I feel for Bryce Johnson all the time. I think Bryce Johnson could be a starting outfielder. I really do. and it's tough when you pinch run maybe every other game, and you maybe get 6 at bats a week. I mean that's
Again,
asking a lot.
I said last week Bryce Johnson should be taking balls at short, second, third.
Yeah, but they got guys playing those positions, Jack. I mean, again,
Well,
it's a good problem to have.
I'm saying super utility players.
Yeah.
We've seen it before where players play multiple positions and they can play.
Well, who's to say he's not? I'm just saying.
I said last week.
We've got backup infielders.
I said I said last week. I don't know if he's doing it or not. But again, when you bring Tatis in at second and move Cronenworth to short, you're not really having a lot of depth at that position if that's what you're doing. But again,
they do. But it's a guy named Song, and he's still in the minor leagues. So.
Yeah. I would say Bryce Johnson is perfect at what he's doing right now. I think he's a perfect a sub. He's a perfect spot starter. I just think he's just I just sometimes we go, oh, that guy, look at every time he comes in he hits, but then when he gets a full-time job, you see it all the time. They don't. I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. He could hit 400, I'd be happy. But I think he's good where he's at. But I think of Constellanos, Nicky C, I think is going to ask for his release here soon. I just don't see him wanting to sit the bench. And again, how can you play him when he's 0 for 5 when he starts? I mean, it's just like, I get you're not starting, but you got to start producing.
Yeah, he's he's one of those guys who's hit into some bad luck, but then lately it's not been bad luck. It's just been bad hitting.
Yeah, bad hitting.
Look, I'm not the defender of Nick Castellanos. I guess my thing is that these guys like Ty France and Bryce Johnson and Nick Castellanos, especially
they're used to
those
starting.
Three, it's hard to be a non-regular. It's really
nobody
hard.
Nobody wants to sit the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Johnson's got 16 at bats. The next closest to him is Ty France with 30. So he is not getting a whole lot of opportunities, and he's at 250. Doesn't have a whole lot of other stuff with him, but again, with 16 at bats, that's like playing 4 games. So,
but look at the players in front of him, though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I still feel for those kind of guys. Of course, the old adage is we'll get better, and you can find out. So, but
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, but to shy away from the guys who aren't doing it, it's like, gosh, Ramon Laureano has just continued to be. The funny thing is you sit there and look at his stats, so to speak, and they're good. Don't get me wrong. He's up there and everything, but he's at 254. I mean, that's not like woo. He's really tearing the cover off the ball. This guy's been excuse me for my voice. This guy's been basically the leadoff guy, for a better part of the year now, and he's the team leader in RBIs. I mean, that's saying something, Well, Xander's been awesome this year. I keep raising my hand that I called this. I thought this was going to be the year of Xander. I really
thought he made a great play today.
That little one-hander with the flip, behind Manny.
Where Manny kind of got in front. I said, well, Manny, if you've gone that far, you might as well grab the ball. But Xander got the ball and threw it, and then Ty France had a great stretch.
Yeah.
If we have, not to knock Arise, but if Arise is playing first base, that's a base hit. Because
that Arise is in the top 10 of defensive F4
for second base.
Yep.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. Second
base. They call it the magic of Ron Washington.
Yeah.
I saw it last year. Arise is just not tall, but other than that, I thought he did an outstanding job.
Well, I'm saying his stretch was never.
You guys hate Arise. You and Jay both just hate Arise.
Never hate Arise. Just didn't think he was that good. But no, I'm just saying Ty France helped make that play. It was a good play all around. Again, I don't know what Manny was doing. I know the third baseman, if he can get the ball, should get the ball. That's the rule of thumb. But I just thought it was a great play by Bogaerts. I said, wow, he stayed with it. He could have been distracted.
Well, he obviously got called off because Manny, you could see Manny could have reached it, but we didn't get to hear it. But it was very apparent to me that he got called off by Bogey.
Yeah.
because he stretched out and then he just pulled his arm back. So, like, to me, it was, no, I think that's just good
But
communication.
again, a lot of time, because I still remember Lindor, and I did a video on my YouTube channel and it got like 300,000. Lindor and who did they trade this year? Who was the second baseman they had?
McNeil.
McNeil got in front of him, and it was actually my point was McNeil came across short from second base and got in Lindor's way, and I said, well, that was Lindor's ball, and they got in a fight in the dugout, and people were trying to tell me, oh, no, that was McNeil's. I go, no, he's going away from first base. Even if he got the ball, there's no way he's going to throw the runner out at first base. But anyway, I just thought it was a fantastic. Again, Bogaerts was played really well last year when he was healthy, and that home run he had today got us back in the game.
Yeah,
got us back in the game. He's playing. He's the Bogaerts. He's the Boston Bogaerts. I think he's playing solid baseball.
Yeah, and again, I think the expectation for me is that he'll never be the Boston version, because it's just a different. You're in Petco Park. You're not in Boston. You don't have a short porch. You're not going to hit doubles off the wall all day long. Before we came on, I was watching the Yankee Boston game, and I know this is heresy and all that, but the rinky dink best Boston Red Sox park is ridiculous. I've been there. I get the history. It's just ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous baseball park. Go ahead and shoot me now. I don't care. I just think it's ridiculous with the.
Well, hey, I'm right
short,
next to you. I want them shooting you and hitting me.
Well, I'm just saying it's a short wall. It's tall. I don't know. It just, to me, it's been gimmicky since I was a Boston Red Sox fan back when Roger Clemens was there.
It doesn't hold a lot either, does it?
Yeah.
30.
Well, they put they really ruined it when they put seats on top of the green wall, but it's different. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like the rinky, much like I don't like Yankee Stadium with 304 down the line kind of stuff.
Well, it's even shorter down the right field line with Boston.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm talking about Fenway's. Fenway's 304.
Yeah, Fenway, as they have that. Well, they say it was. I think it was Ursello was saying. Some people say it's only like 298, but they still insist it's 304. But the foul line is like there's no foul territory down that. It gets to a point where it's the walls there and the foul territory. I mean, people love it because it has its history and great players played there. But eventually, you got to be thinking, okay, that stadium is 100. Let's see, what year are we in now?
Well, so I'll give you the dimensions while you're looking at it. It's over 100 years old now, but the left field line is 310.
Well, that's why they put the big wall there. Right?
Yeah, and you got left center and right center are more legitimate. In fact, center field's even further away, 420. But
it has a low wall that way.
The right field line is 302 feet. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Ursello was saying that some people say it's 298.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know.
302 feet is ridiculous. Yeah. So.
And he was saying too, because Mark Grant said, yeah, it was the first time I ever went inside the scoreboard. The thing. He goes,
where everybody signs behind it. Yeah.
And he goes, Ursello goes, you say hi to the rats? I didn't see a rat. He goes, oh, you were lucky. There's rats. There's rats in there. Lots.
Yeah, I've been there, and I'll say the same thing about Fenway as I'll say about Wrigley, the older ballparks. It smells like urine everywhere around the park.
Well, to be fair, Qualcomm smelled like urine.
So I'm saying I just don't have. I don't have that Bob Costas historical view on everything. If it's old, then it's time to to freshen it up and get a new one. Now, I'm not talking about like Atlanta where they had. What was it? That one stadium, they had it for like less than 20 years and they got rid of it. And I'm that's kind of a waste of money.
Well, they did that with their football stadium too.
Yeah.
And so, their new stadium, I think, is ugly. I just don't.
You get to a certain point where, everything gets old, man, and it gets used up. And I mean, what Petco's now, what, 24 years old or something like that?
Yeah, it's because it opened when I moved here. So it's 24 years old.
24 years old, you
But
know.
what they do a great job there is they keep fixing it up. They don't just let it.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
Qualcomm,
places like Fenway and Wrigley went too long without repair, so to speak. Because,
right.
and the other thing is I got to tell you, from a comfort level, I know we're getting off the Padres here. From the comfort level, Fenway and Wrigley were the worst, the absolute worst. Cast iron seats. When we went to Wrigley, we were sitting in the between first base and the right field wall, and our view going straight ahead was to look at the center fielder. To watch the game, we had to sit sideways the whole game like this, just to be able to watch the home plate.
Well, that's how a
Still
lot of
bad.
seats, going back to San Diego Stadium, Qualcomm, when the best seats, the most expensive seats, that's how you sat. Like this, you were because they faced straight ahead. They were football seats. They faced straight ahead, so you had to sit like this. But again, that's down. That's water under the bridge because stadium's no longer there. But yeah, it's just it is what it is. But I forgot what we were talking about before about.
Well, we're going to Mexico City now, so the difference is that we're playing a team that hits a lot of home runs, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that's got me worried. I don't mind saying, it's
Diamondbacks are playing good ball right now. I thought they were tanking, and all of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, they just caught. It's like that one. What year was it? Where every time we won, they won. It was like, God, we can't catch them. It's just like boom, boom, boom. We'd win 7 in a row. They'd win 8 in a row. Now they've caught.
They're not hitting as many home runs as I had given them credit. I'll be this much, because we've hit 18, they've hit 23. That's kind of surprising.
Really?
Yeah, they got some new guys, but Ketel Marte kills us. Corbin Carroll kills us. Perdomo, who's only hit 1, will probably find a way to hit a couple against us.
Yeah.
They got a couple of new youngsters too. This one kid's been really impressive. Vargas. I'm going to butcher his name. It's Ildemaro Vargas.
Sounds good to me.
He's hitting 357 after 70 at bats, and he's their regular second baseman. And their shortstop / third baseman is Jose Fernandez, who's hitting 309. It's a couple of impressive guys. That Vargas has got a OPS of 1.046. He's been pretty doggone good. They got a pretty powerful lineup. That's
their approach is to trade players a year early.
Yeah,
and like they traded Naylor, they traded what's his name, the third baseman,
Suarez.
They traded him, and they get young players back.
Yeah,
which is not a bad thing to do. I mean, if you can do it. It's like the Brewers. The Brewers do the same thing. I'm a little worried about the. I'm always worried about the Diamondbacks. For whatever reason, we
it's a good rivalry. I mean, and just being conscious of the rivalry part of it. I think it's a good rivalry. I really do.
We could use a Corbin Carroll, a guy like that.
Well, I like to think we've got one with Jackson Merrill, but right now Corbin's looking better than him, and not just this season, but over the course of the couple of years. Jackson really came out of the box really hot and looked like he was going to be the comparable guy, but Corbin Carroll's definitely right now the better player. I'm a huge Jackson Merrill fan, but
I love Jackson Merrill. I mean, I wouldn't trade him, but I'm just saying.
Oh no, I'm frustrated for him. I just think, like you said, he's 23 years old. Hopefully that senior leadership in the clubhouse gets him out of his funk.
I thought maybe it'd do him some good to move down in the lineup. Maybe put him 6 in the lineup.
Thought the same thing.
I said,
he seemed to be all right back down there.
Yeah, when his rookie year, when he was hitting lower, it's when we put him up higher, he seems to change his approach to hitting. Maybe
but it worked last year.
Yeah,
that's the thing, because we were all calling for it. You and Jay were all saying move him up, and when they moved him up, it worked. But it's it's a different year, and look, I think sometimes players will never admit to the pressure. They'll never sit there and say, I can't handle it. Forget that, one guy they interviewed the other day, and he says, I may be the smallest guy on the field, but I'm going to win. I'm going to win, And you got to have that attitude. If you're in the big leagues, ain't nobody going to feel sorry for you. Ain't nobody
Oh
going to
no,
say,
no.
"Oh, well, no." You got to earn your job. You got to keep your job. And but there is a time where you get those more senior guys that have been around for a while, and you got to talk to these younger guys, even if he's been in the leagues now for 2.5 years. You still got to
There's a
sometimes have that conversation of like, "Hey, dude, there's 9 of us there." Now I'll tell you this: that the part that bothered me today, and I don't mind saying, it was when we had first and second, and Jackson laid down a bunt, and I'm like,
yeah, I didn't get
dude,
that.
if you're batting number 3 and your name is Jackson Merrill, that is not a time to bunt.
Now, did
I
he do it?
get,
Did he do it on his own, or did the?
yeah, I'm sure he did, but I'm just saying that's no. I mean, that's a talk if I'm the manager, that's a talk I'm having with him.
Yeah,
Dude, I am not batting you third just so you could bunt. Like that's that's probably the most primo batting position there is in baseball.
right.
That's not where you bunt. Not unless
No,
it's the ninth inning and or extra innings where you got to move the guys over to third or
I
something
didn't know
like that.
Stammen had called for that, or if he did it on his own. If he did it
I
on
could
his own,
tell.
then
I could tell it was the first pitch. Trying to move them over, and of course it didn't work. Anyway, because then Manny got up and struck out, and then Bogey
oh,
hit a
that
line drive to
I thought
somebody.
Manny grounded his pitcher or something like that.
Well, bottom line is we didn't get a run in. We had first
No.
and second, nobody out, and we got them to second and third, and that was it. So,
Well, the inning before, I was mad at Ty France.
it's not even a matter of the results, Jack. I would have been mad even if they would have scored there, because it's like that's not what my number 3 hitter does.
Well, I was mad at Ty France, and I love Ty France, but we had we got a 2-run. We made it 2-1. Runner at second, nobody out, and Ty France hits the first pitch right to the shortstop. I go, and so he sits there. I go, God, you got it. Oh man, I mean, I know he's not trying to do that, but you got to somehow get that runner to third base with no outs. But it is what it is. I mean, we won the game, and that's all that matters. And all that other thing is forgotten. I wish everyone had the attitude Sheets has. They interviewed after the game. I'm just happy whatever they can, and I genuinely believe him when he's saying that. He just loves playing the game. Whatever I can do to help the team win.
I think some of it's perspective too, Jack. I mean, here's a guy who signed a minor league deal last year, and in my mind, you're this close to not playing the game you love anymore. I can't help but think that unless you're just hard as a rock, that you don't take some perspective out of that and say, you know what, I'm lucky to be in here. And you know what, wherever they want to use me, I just want to keep playing this game. I just want to keep going, kind of thing. But yeah, it'd be great, and part of that is work ethic. I think that also, goes back to the whole clubhouse effect. We see, and I commented on it. Sometimes we see the sullen faces and stuff like that, but there's no doubt that's a good clubhouse. There's just no doubt in my mind. I don't even have to be in there to know that it's a good clubhouse. You guys are genuinely happy for anybody to do anything, good. Tatis, the walk-off home runs, has been jumping out of the dugout, and he's the first guy to go and shake the guy's hand and hug him and all that. So they seem to have the right attitude. I guess more than anything, I have to resolve in my heart and my mind that it may not look like it, but they're trying their best. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to be able to be a little frustrated. And
there's a lot of
show it.
players. There's a lot of players struggling around baseball that had great years last year. I mean, you look at Ohtani. Ohtani only has 4 homers, something like that. He's hitting like 242.
But he's also been on base 53 straight times. He finally.
I know. I get it, but the difference is they're paying him to bop. They're paying him to hit 50 plus homers a year. He's not. I mean, he's not hitting power like he was in the. I'm sure it'll come around. I'm not. I don't think.
You think?
It won't. But I'm just saying. There's a guy I have on my fantasy. Was it Tyler Ward? Played for the Angels last year. Had 30-something home runs.
Yeah.
He was one of my keepers this year. He has 1.
Yeah.
And he's hit a lot of home runs in the past. He has 1 with Baltimore.
Home runs are down in general for everybody.
So it's just kind of going, okay, they're going to come. Fernando's going to get that stroke back. And he's been hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hitting. I saw a stat yesterday. He is, of all his balls in play, he's number one as far as miles per
Hard to say.
hour
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about him. I think he'll come around. Will he, like you said, we said a couple weeks ago, will he be the player he was with 42 homers? And maybe not. I think the injuries.
I just don't think it's fair to ever expect that, quite honestly. And I think that people. One thing I can honestly say, I never get hooked to the contract. Like, oh, then that means you've got to do this and everything. You know what? They earn whatever they earn. They're on my team. After that, they're just another ball player. I have same expectations of all of them. I know the core four is talked about a lot, but the bottom line is that if the four was the only ones that did anything, then we'd be, hell in a handbasket.
We
had that. We had that. Be winning. Yeah,
we had that year, and it was just like
you need production up and down the lineup. You need the Capusanos, the Sheets, the Andujars, the guys who are holding us up now, because 3 weeks from now, when we're all back and talking our next podcast, because we're going to be out the next 2 weeks, we may be talking about 2 or 3 other guys and be wondering what's going on with Xander and what's going on with, this guy. 162 games. You need different heroes every night. Otherwise, you don't win.
Again, are they we're 1 game behind the Dodgers, right?
No, they're tied.
Oh, they're tied?
Yeah.
I mean, we're tied with the Dodgers. The Dodgers were supposed to run away with it, and it is what it is. But I'm excited. I can't complain. We're 10 games over 500. We're playing good ball. Got some pitchers coming in a couple weeks, like you said.
And besides that, I was the one that was right this time, because my 4-2 did come in.
Well, no, you had 5-1.
Did I have 5-1? I thought I had 4-2.
I was 4-2.
Oh man, you won again?
No, they weren't 4-2. Weren't they 5-1?
In the last week, they have gone the last 6 games. They are 4-2.
Oh, then I won again.
That's what I said. You won again.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was 5. I really thought it was 5-1. I apologize.
I thought I'd gone 4-2, but okay.
Mike was 3-3. Oz was 6-0. I was 4-2. So
yeah. So you won again. I don't think I've won. I don't think I've won yet.
Man, that's brutal. Well, let's do it right now, because I got to do it.
All right. So we got 2 games with Arizona. Well, problem is we're gonna have to
it's only 2 games with Arizona.
Yeah. They get in Friday. They play Saturday, Sunday, and then they play 3 against Chicago Cubs.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah, and so there's only 5 games now.
Are they playing in Chicago?
No, they're playing at home.
Chicago's been on fire lately.
Yeah. So for our listeners, unfortunately or fortunately for us, we're going to both be on vacation for a couple of weeks. So our next podcast won't be for let me see.
And Oz isn't even here
May
today.
14th. So
Oz isn't even here today.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Yeah. Michael's not here today.
Yeah.
So what say you, Jerry? 5-0, 5 games.
I think you're right, though. We're playing. So I'll give you Arizona as Marquez and Gallen and King and Nelson. And then the Chicago series, it's Vasquez and Boyd, Buehler and Cabrera, Waldron and Talion.
Waldron's going again.
I think this will be a tough one to go 3-2. I think that's going to be tough. Definitely playing Arizona is almost like a automatic 1-1. I don't know why, but I just kind of feel that way. And man, the way the Cubs are playing, and we got against Cabrera pitched okay today. He didn't get the win. The Cubs did, because they scored off the bullpen. But I'll go 3-2. I know it's a chicken way to go.
It's funny you said that, because I put 3-2.
3-2. Yeah.
So both 3-2.
Which means you're going to be wrong.
And I would I would take that. I'll take a win on that one.
Oh no,
both teams are playing hot. I mean,
yeah, and hopefully if Oz was here, Oz would say, here, I'll put it on here. Oz says 5-0.
All right, I'm putting Oz down for 5-0. What do you think Michael would say?
I didn't see him today because I'm sick, and so I've been here. But I did not get. He was glad he was wrong, because he texted me after the game and he goes, "I had 3-3. I'm glad I'm wrong." So
I'm gonna give him 2-3. I think he would be a little negative.
Well, that's not fair, but yeah,
Well, he's not here to defend himself. You know what?
That's true.
You want to defend yourself? Be here.
Yeah.
Oz always goes undefeated.
Oz is our optimistic Padre
Yeah.
fan. So.
All right.
All right, man.
I think that's all we got. Again, thanks for everyone who joined us. At one point, we had like 30-something people in here, but now we have 0.
Yeah.
So,
well, we had I don't know, at 01 F Zone, but
F Zone.
he was here with us, or she was here with us for a few minutes.
Zone. I don't know. Zone. I'm no good at those. But that's all we got. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and the worst part is
3 weeks.
3 weeks. The worst part is we won't even be able to probably watch the games.
Probably not,
because the internet is so bad. I told someone on another podcast that if you ever go on a cruise, don't buy the internet package.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
Doesn't work hardly at all anyway.
You're wasting your money. I remember when the Padres were playing the Phillies, in the National Championship
when we were in Germany or
whatever. I go, I can't watch the game. I can't hear the game.
But not only that, it was started at like 2:00 in the morning. So
yeah, but I got up to do it, and I said,
so did I. And I watched ESPN Gamecast.
Yeah, but mine kept freezing on me, and I paid for the internet service. Yeah. I go, I will never do that again. Yeah, I'm not even bringing my computer. I'm just bringing an iPad for the plane.
I'm not bringing either one. So yeah,
I got to have something to do on the plane, and that's all I got. So we'll be back in a few weeks. Hopefully the Padres are still rolling.
About a week here.
Yeah, I'll be here. Here. I ain't leaving. It's nice and hot here right now. And we haven't had rain in like 6 months. It's so we're on water restrictions.
Oh boy.
You can't water. You gotta. Oh, I can't water today. You've got to worry about someone telling on me. Cindy goes. She kept wanting because you guys are coming out. We got to get some more plants. I go. They're going to die. We're going to be gone for 9 days, whatever it is. I go. It hasn't rained in months. We get a little sprinkle. I mean, we have a retaining pond right next to us. It's never been as low as it is now. It just
okay. Everybody doesn't want to hear our personal stories, so
yeah. I think it's interesting. It hasn't rained, so
we'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
So what happens when it doesn't rain? Things die. That's why I'm just trying to get through my wife. Don't waste the money. All right, guys, take care. Jerry, I'll see you in a week. Have a good flight out.
All right,
and go Padres, and let's try and stay positive.
Let's try and go like while we're gone. I don't know, 15-5. Yeah.
I can live with that. All right. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.